have a question. Would you love me if I didn't have eyes? If I didn't have a voice? Would you love me if I slept under a bridge without a roof over my head? Would you love me if I was crippled? If I didn't have any qualifications at all? Would you love me if I didn't have hands? If I didn't have ears? I mean, if I were deaf and dumb, would you love me? Would you love me if I were not a poet? Would you love me if I was a street kid? Obviously, the answer is no, you wouldn't. Because you only love people that have something in common with you. I mean, if they can do something that you cannot, then they're your friends, right? And if I were just any ordinary kid, I wouldn't be your friend. And don't try to argue, because if I asked you, how many times have you greeted a street kid? How many times have you tried at least to ask how they are faring? Have you tried to find out how they're coping with the weather? The answer is you never. You don't understand the pain. You don't understand how it feels to not have hands, to not have legs, to not have eyes, to not... You don't feel anything because you have everything. Even if I ask, it's a wastage of time. Even if... Would you love me? It's a no. Why do we try to be perfect human beings when we are not perfect? Why do we try to profess love when we don't know what love really is? Love runs from the soul because it relies on devotion for another person, but we just know how to manipulate people by saying we love them. And that's why I asked, would you love me if I didn't have eyes? At least I would only see the dark, like the dark behind me. People are held indoors of different troubles, but we never reach out. But when they're gone, we are the first ones to say, no, he committed suicide because he was just in his own world. Did you ever try to at least say hi? You never. So don't try to give words when it's already too late. It doesn't change anything. It never changes anything. You cannot bring them back. Either they committed suicide, they were bashed by a car because of many thoughts on their minds which you were part of, and you never even tried to at least mend your ways. At least one thing I know is that life is not promised. Like, we're not promised long life. We're not assured that we'll see tomorrow. And so if you have an opportunity to come across a person who doesn't have food, someone who doesn't have a roof over their head, try to be a human being and love with your soul. Because you would never have loved me if I were not me. You would never have loved me if I did not go to school, if I did not speak any of this little English that I learned, and you obviously wouldn't even know me by now. So I ask, would you love me? If you would, then why don't you love the neighbors in your street who don't have food, who don't have a roof over their head? The neighbors who need a helping hand because they can. The neighbors who don't have hands and legs to walk. Be the change you want to see. Mental health matters.